Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Tuesday, June the 6th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Enchanted Forest tarot cards. So we're starting off with the Green Mother. This is definitely the Empress. This is Gaia energy. We always have Gaia present in our videos. So it's like putting your energy into things that matter. You know what I mean? I feel like green, we get the beautiful planet of Venus, the planet of love. We wear a heart on our sleeve. We also get our heart chakra. I definitely feel some grounding energy with her feet on the ground. We get that also with the Weaver of Boons here. And I feel like grounding ourselves. I feel like this is like, like I'm tired today, but it's just like I put my energy into things that I love. Like I sat there and it's like, so many hours on Friday between hems and mass where you could do some things, but it's like I sat there, transplanted my rose bushes into bigger pots. I sat there and I did all the perennials into pots to go outside. It's just the temperature went from 37, which is like 102 105 in Fahrenheit, down to for us is like we were down all the way down to -2, which is like 23, maybe a bit below that. And it's just like getting your hands in the dirt. Like, I had peanuts I was putting out for the squirrels, and I saw that like the crows started to eat them. I'm like, isn't that funny? I didn't think crows would eat peanuts. So then, well, crows I guess will eat anything. I call them my chickens. And then the blue jays came and they started eating them, and I'm like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know when I would put out the seed mix, I would put them into this big silver bowl I got from the dollar store, and they would eat out of it. And I'm just like, I used to have this beautiful, it was a bird bath, but I would put bird seed in it. But one of my not so nice neighbors came over and smashed it into a million pieces. So, what are you going to do? But it was just like, sitting there and I was just like, connecting with them a little bit more. If you're someone like myself that loves to like see blue jays and like to feed the birds of the air and stuff like that. So, we have little chipmunks that come and eat it. He actually made a home in my recycling bin because it was closer to the food. Stupid little thing. But he's such a bugger. During the cooler months when my neighbors had their Christmas lights out, he would eat off the Christmas bulbs and he would bring it to me as a gift. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what are you doing? Your neighbor's gonna kill me. He ate all our bulbs off. I have them sitting on my wall, and I'm like, you little bugger. But I feel like it's like that connection, especially we see the hair here. You know what I mean? And I feel like they were showing like a group of people, and they're kikiing. I feel like this is like in a close, like kind of neighborhood kind of thing, like maybe a mother's kind of circle where it's like all the mothers get together, like PTA and stuff like that, or it's just like neighborhood, kind of thing where it's like townhouse or something. Like we grew up in a townhouse complex, for I believe grade 8, and the kids would get together like that. You never seen the moms, but the kids would get together like that. We would play, hide and seek and stuff like that. But it's like there's a group of them, they're kikiing, and it's like you're walking up and it's like they talk crap about you up into earshot, and then it's like they think that you can't hear what they're saying about you, but you can hear them. You know what I mean? And then it's like you kind of dawns on you like you're putting your energy into the wrong places. You know what I mean? And there's just like a one shit disturber. Excuse my language. So I feel like this is where they're saying like put your thing into positive things, and they have our child on our lap, and it's like you have no idea as you nurture your children on how that's going to transform them as they grow up. Some kids are just going to grow up to be who they're going to be. Even Robbie from Everyone Loves Raymond. I can never remember the actor's name, but he said when he turned 50, he's just like he was always so concerned about what his daughters were going to grow up to be, and he's just like, you know what, they're going to be who they're going to be. And he's like, I wish I didn't stress so much. It's hard not to. It's hard not to as a parent to sit there and not stress about like how how the future is going to unfold. You know what I mean? Because it's like, just like when they reach a certain age, we start wiping their butt, we stop brushing their teeth. They learn how to take care of themselves, shower, lotion, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just like, who's going to rise to the occasion and who's just going to be nasty. You know what I mean? But it's like you're always concerned for them, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's like, they're like kind of calling to attention what you put your energy into. We have this Weaver of Boons, some financial abundance. I definitely feel like we're in a financial cycle here. Like I was in this last year, they're showing me like, I remember birthdays were coming up and they're like, why are you working so much? And I'm like, well, birthdays are coming up. So, instead of sitting there worried about finances, with all these birthdays coming around, I work the extra hours and it covers birthday, I don't have to worry, and they're just like, yeah, it makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I've been seeing that a couple times where they were like, oh, who could cover a couple hours here, who could work a couple of hours there. It's like, why not, put it into use, sit there, work, an hour here, an hour there, and you could sit there and have some money for a birthday present. We have the 10 of Boons. I feel like this is the 10 of Cups. I feel like this is all are welcome at your, kind of like the 9 of Cups, but I feel like the 10 of Cups was that unconditional love. But I feel like they're saying like all are welcome at your table. They're talking about your community. They're talking about your tribe. We just literally had Michael's birthday. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Getting together for a celebration. You know what I mean? They're saying a cup of cheer. Getting together for a barbecue. Doing things for your community as they were talking about here. So, maybe you do something and it makes you like, the neighborhood that much better. We have the Ace of Challenges here. I feel like this is the Ace of Swords. Are you karmically connected? Are you on the right side of things? You know what I mean? This crow is offering you this arrow. I thought he was catching an arrow. I thought like, maybe someone had their eye on you, but they're saying you're making a shot and you're not going to miss it. You know what I mean? You're taking a shot. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe this is trusting yourself, believing in yourself. Like, I could resonate with the mother of the Green Mother here, where it was just like the kids' Xbox. And the only reason I sat there and put the energy that I did into this, because this is the console that me and his dad bought, but this is the console the boys, like, they remember sitting down and playing video games with their father. This is, you know what I mean? Hours and upon hours playing Red Dead Redemption, playing, The Walking Dead with Lee and Clementine, like this, you know what I mean? It's the sentimental behind it. You know what I mean? And I paid for a kit, and I was obviously useless. All I needed to do was change the paste, but it looks like the chip itself is actually what's burnt out, so I'm going to have to wait till I find someone that can fix it. But it's the sentimental behind it. You know what I mean? So even if it's stored away for a couple of years until we could find someone to fix it, a couple of months, 6 months, you know what I mean? It's just like, for me, it's just that the boys have that for the rest of their life, Even if they don't play it now, they put it away and they'll play it later with their kids or whatever, It's just like the fact that they have that, piece of history in their life where, all those hours that we spent hours as a family playing, especially the Walking Dead series with Lee and Clementine, that really brought us together. We were always like yelling at Shane, like, do this, do that. And he's just like, you guys are stressing me out. You know what I mean? But for me to do that, like, for me, out of my wheelhouse, I've never taken apart something like that before in my life and put it back together. You know what I mean? So thank God, like the kit that I paid for came with a video, and she's like, now that we're at the motherboard, I'm like, how do we get to the motherboard? You know what I mean? So I had to look that up. Thank God for YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm just like sitting there and I'm just like, I saved all the videos. I was just like, I have 2 screws left over. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. It's the G screw that holds it to the motherboard or whatever, so we'll see. I'll take it apart again. At least it's easier now. You know what I mean? I'll still watch the video, but go back in there and put those 2 screws back, and I don't think it'll make a difference because I turned it on. The everything works. The fan's working and everything. It's just, I feel like it's that chip. There's like, if you change the paste, the thermal paste, and it's still the red eye of death, it ain't gonna work. But that's what I mean. Something like that. I could have put my time into something else. I could have sat there and, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you know what? To me, my kids saw me take apart that Xbox, and they knew that I put all that, like, my thumbs are killing me today. My brain is fried from it. It's just, they know that I did that because it's not about money or anything like that. It was the sentimental value behind it. Like, that is priceless. That console, what that, hours of all of us together, playing games, and, they watched me play Fable. They played Fable themselves. Them playing Far Cry and all the other like Far Cry 3, like, you know, all the games that we played together, you know, as a family, you know. And then, you know, we got a different Xbox, you know what I mean? So the Xbox One, but it's just like, you know what I mean? We always will have those memories of us, you know, playing those games, you know. We'll never forget that. So it's just like, you know, for me, that's where the Green Mother really resonates for me. It's something that took me out of my comfort zone. They told us that's that last week, so that's gonna take us out of our comfort zone. I'm like, oh, good gravy, what's this? You know. But it's just like, if it would have worked, that would have been amazing, because I really would have felt accomplished. Like, you know, I did that. I did that for my kids, you know. But, you know, we'll figure out another way. My nephew offered us his, so we'll see. We have the Ace of Boons. So in the Asian culture, toads are seen as very prosperous luck. I feel like a mood ring here. They're saying, like, you know, toad stone rings will turn colors to show you when poison is present, you know, or a curse is present. So I feel like a mood ring in that way. But I definitely feel like, again, we're talking about this pattern of prosperity. So are you putting extra hours in and it's bringing in a larger paycheck? Is something coming in out of the blue? I got that with the ace, or with this Ace of Challenges. You know what I mean? But I feel like with the Ace of Challenges there, I feel like that sword energy, we keep getting that. Are you karmically worth, you know, this coming in? Like, you know, did you do the right thing in certain situations? Did you do it with a pure heart? Or did you just do it because you're like, oh, I expect the universe to pay me for this? It's like, that's not how it works. So the Green Mother is the embodiment of feminine power. She represents sexuality, the world of senses, and the unconditional love. She is this essence of fertility. Call upon her when you need an increase in earthly support and a creative push, healing, or comfort and care. So, like, especially, like, I feel like, oh my god, I always forget her freaking name. Last name's Howard. Oh my gosh, Kristen Howard. She's on TikTok. You know, she even talked about this. It's just like how she felt, like, you know, thoughts and stuff. I don't know if it's the moon water or not. You know, I'm drinking my moon water right now, but it's just like, you know what I mean. Like, these thoughts that come in, and it's just like, you know, I feel like any parent, you feel like, you know, you could do more. You know what I mean? Like, I used to look up to the Duggar family in a lot of ways, like, because, you know, I don't see that. I didn't see them as a cult because I didn't see the deeper part of things, but you know what I mean? Raising your children as a family, starting them school young, you know what I mean? That discipline of school, and you know what I mean? It's just like, you kind of look at yourself and you're just like, did I do the right thing? You know what I mean? I know in a lot of ways I did, because, like, you know, I was watching Orange is the New Black, and one of the moms actually went through what our kids went through. And it's just like, you know, the one kid is like always afraid that the mom's not going to come. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? And creating that comfort that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm always here for them, you know, in that way. So it's like, every situation is different. Every situation is unique. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, there's little messages there out in the world that's like, yeah, you did do the right thing. You know what I mean? And I've seen that over and over again. But still, you know, as a parent, you always question if you're doing the right thing. That actually shows you actually give a damn about your kids. That, you know, you're always wondering, you know, this and that. Like, you know, is this the right thing? Is that the wrong thing? You know? The Green Mother wants you to remember that what you nourish will grow. So pay attention to what you put your energy. So instead of putting our energy into situations that bear nothing, you know what I mean? Put it into situations that bear fruit. You know, holding your kid's hand, watching things together, playing video games. Like, people are like, oh, it's so bad. Video games are so bad. It's like, well, who are you hurting? You know what I mean? All of us, you know, Jenner and Michael still love Clementine. Like, you know, we still played it, you know, even as the years went by. We continued to play it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, it's like, in a lot of people don't understand, that's fine. You know what I mean? It's just like, kids should be out playing soccer and this and that and that. But you know what I mean? Not all, like, you know, Shane, you know, is not, the way that their bodies run, and Michael's the same way. They run over hot. Like, they're always hot. So it's just like, being outside in that hot summer is not good for them. My kids have actually fainted from it. You know what I mean? being outside the back. We had a whole backyard. They were never in the backyard. They were playing video games with their dad because it was cooler. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's like you can judge all you want, but the creativity that has come out in them, like I know I've never had anyone say that about us, but it's just like I know one person, she had posted and her child was playing with their dad, and they were coming at them for playing video games. I'm like, what is wrong with that? He's spending time with his dad. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't understand people. It's like, leave people alone. Unconditional love, nature's bounty, generosity, fertility, motherhood, beauty. And I feel like there's nothing more beautiful than becoming a parent. It is a hard, thankless job sometimes, but you know what? It's just like there's nothing like that, For your kid to sit there and it's like when they see you going through things and they're just like, how can I help? What can I do for you? Or telling you you're doing a great job or something like that. It's just, there's nothing like it. To have, these people in your life that, you know what I mean? You're very blessed. Like you wanted kids, but it's like when they, you know what I mean? As they turn older, and especially like when their grandmother was going through something and they were like, they didn't know what to do, but they showed up for her. They're like, you know what I mean? We're present. We're here. We love you. We don't know what to do in this situation because we're young. You know what I mean? But they sat there. They sat by her side, held her hand. They were snuggling her. You know what I mean? Like she knew she was supported even though they couldn't articulate it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the biggest thing. And the way that, you know what I mean? Like that song, it's like, you wouldn't have to say, I love you because I already know. You know what I mean? What is it? Only words? It's basically saying, what would you do if my heart broke into two? These easy words that can come out of people's mouths, but it's like when you actually show up and show out, that's where, and I feel like that's where that ace of challenges comes in. It's like, did you, do what you would, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, we were in these shoes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're frightened and you're scared and you're like, how am I going to get this done? I don't wish that on anyone. And I'm like, if I was tired, but it's like, at least, whatever I could do, I did. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, that's who I am. I didn't do it for no prize. I didn't do it like, oh, I'm going to get accolades. No, I did it because it's like, I was in those shoes. I know how it feels to feel frightened. So let me sit there and be that source of light in a dark situation for somebody. You know what I mean? And that way they can feel like comfort, somewhat, It's like the biggest gift you could ever do for anyone. So the weaver of boons, she treasured both the wilderness of the woods and the bounty of her well-tended garden. She is the preserver. So this reminds me a lot of my mom because she actually knows how to preserve. If you actually look on the windowsill here, she has a black cat. So I feel like this is kind of like the Queen of Wands. So it's like the preservership. So the first year we lived out here, we shared a home and we were preserving strawberries and this and this and this and this. And it, you know what I mean? It's just like it takes you back to, and a lot of young people are doing this nowadays. They're sitting there growing their own garden and preserving because they love it. It's just tastes so good, She made relish. My son absolutely loves it. She did some pickles and stuff like that. So it's just like she did some beets. It's just like nothing tastes better than eating out of your garden. Like honestly, me and Michael walk in the backyard. Okay, let's lunchtime. We love zucchini. We just pick the zucchini. So she is the preserver, nurturer, and healer, feeding both body and spirit with motherly love. And I feel like that's what I feel like Shabbat is. I feel like Shabbat for me is that soul food. When they talk about soul food for the soul, you know what I mean? Like they say chicken noodle soup for the soul. It's just like, it was on a box of matzah and it said soul food for the soul. You know what I mean? I cut that out and I put that in my Torah. I glued it into my Torah because that's what Shabbat is for me. You know what I mean? I felt very emotional. I feel like because when Michael was born, he ended up in the NICU, unfortunately. And then, when we moved here in 2018, unfortunately, his appendix went and it scared the living crap out of me because, it only had been a year since we said, his not goodbye to his dad, but, see you soon. And he had transitioned. But, not too soon. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, in those, I feel like maybe it's muscle memory. You know what I mean? I was like, please don't let anything bad happen this weekend. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I want him to have the most amazing birthday. You know what I mean? And he had a great time. Like, we're up early in the morning laughing and making jokes, and you know what I mean? Like, he was watching me, helping me put the Xbox together, and he was just, you know what I mean, curious about it all. And I'm totally on my wheelhouse. I'm stabbing myself with a screwdriver. I'm like, please. I'm like, just let me concentrate on this. I'm like, I feel like, I really did my brain in with it. But that's what I love about that. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you bounty, abundance comes in so many shapes and forms. Like, I was reading something about, like, roughly about that last night before I went to sleep, and it was like, if you really think about what you're surrounded by, you really are abundant. You know what I mean? Like, you're surrounded by your children. You're surrounded by, like, we're surrounded by Sunny. You know what I mean? Like, the support of my mom. It's just like, the support of the universe, Yahweh, Yeshua. It's like, you really are abundant. And I feel like that's where a lot of us are, like, working towards that point in life where it's just like we can have that financial freedom where we don't have to worry about bills or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just, but like, that's why I was saying, it's like you probably are more abundant than you realize, and I'm like, that's why it always comes in different meanings, shapes, and forms. If this card does not represent a particular person, it can indicate the need for some common sense, or an offering of comfort and care, or a monetary windfall with no harm to done. I love that. Kind of looks like a pineapple, what she's holding there. Her offering. I'm just gonna move that over a little bit closer so you can see that. It kind of looks like a pineapple. And what is the most common, like, kind of, we're coming into summer in a couple weeks here, so it's like this common summer fruit is pineapple. But I love that, like, she's offering you abundance. Maybe it's knowledge, maybe it's comfort, maybe it's, whatever this is. But here we go, 10 of Boons. So, like, I've shared this, like, Mother's Day is like the kickoff of, like, celebrations for us. So 10 of Boons, and it's like getting together, having a cup of cheer. All are welcome. I feel like, unconditional love. I'm getting the 10 of Cups with this energy. Your heart is your heart fills with grateful relief. You found more than a night's shelter. You found your tribe. Community is based on human need, one that we sadly forgotten in the ways of these modern times. This card says, your tribe, your clan, your kin await your arrival. Or perhaps you are the welcoming one. And Gathering Hall is right. So Gathering Hall, I love that very Viking tribal energy there, where they would all gather in the great hall and have a great feast. Oh, I zoomed out a little too much here. Hold on. You can see the ring. Not that it matters, but it's just, just for visual aesthetic. Or perhaps you are the welcoming one. At the last of the boon cards, the 10 reminds you that the greatest boons of all is like-minded fellows who stand in good times and bad. That's the thing about our family. It's just like, like, one of our favorite memories is going to my sister's house, and we were playing, we were doing Nerf Dart Wars, because the 3 young littles love guns. Even Ricky, you know what I mean? He's 21. That's what I love about him. He's very much, him and my mom are very much the same. They're both Virgos, and that childlike energy where my mom, I remember years ago, I can't remember what birthday party it was of Tyler's, but my sister was able to rent out, I think I'm not sure if it was a community center or a Legion, and it was like their, I guess you would do like concerts or whatever in there, or a dance. And they sat there and they moved all the chairs out of the way, and they were able to have like a Nerf party. They were just running around shooting each other. My mom was in the middle of it, pew pew pew. Like, oh my god, me and my sister sitting back laughing our butts off at them. It was funny. So a warm welcome, community, hospitality, kindred, and extended family. This could mean like a move is coming, and that this community is coming. You know what I mean? For me, it would be like, but that's the thing. Just because you go to like a church or, oh, isn't that funny? The book is trying to open on Moonlight. and it's like the full moon in the strawberry moon, love the lover's moon. Um, but that's what I was saying to Michael. I said, "How beautiful is that?" The universe is like, "Oh, he's a Sabbath baby. He's born under the strawberry full moon." I'm like, "Oh, my little baby." I'm like, "That's why you're such a sweetheart." And he starts laughing at me. But you know what I mean? I feel like, even if you go to like a temple, a synagogue, you know what I mean? How many fake and phony people go to these places? But when you actually have that fellowship, it's just like where they actually care, that community, we care about one another and stuff like that. Like my mom just went to mass, and it was the communion for the kids. You know what I mean? I was just like, I thought that was beautiful. But I feel like that's what's happening. Maybe you're moving or coming into a new community. Who knows? So the raven's gift to you is the silver arrow that never misses its mark. Part of this enchantment is the arrow itself, but the magic is completely through your force and the aesthetics of your motive. If your aim is true, you cannot fail. And that's the thing, everything in life. If you are putting your true energy, heart, and soul into something, you can never fail. And I love the fact that, wow, I totally missed that earlier. Especially under the Green Mother. It's just like, how as parents, we're always worried about our kids, where it's just like, did we do the right thing? Did we do the wrong thing? You know what I mean? Like when Junior wanted to make a YouTube channel, I'm like, fine, as long as you're not in front of it. You know what I mean? Because this world is full of a bunch of bullies. And I'm like, do your thing, but I want you behind the camera. No problem. And he did it. He made it work. So it's just like, as they grow older, they're like, oh, our voices and this and that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, when you guys were, going through your journey with Dad passing, I said Corey Keshin and Ninja and Rez and oh my Morgan, and I'm trying to think of all these young men, SML with Logan and his clan, they Lance and all of them, they're the ones that Peppy and all of them, they're the ones that got them through that time. Those are the ones that gave them the inspiration to do the things that they did. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen to anyone else, but we just know, like, this is the world we live in. They could be going through a hard time and they come across your videos and you inspire them as young people. Like, oh, look what you did. Even Michael, his stop motion, my God, the way that this kid is freaking grown from, like, when he first started to where he is now is just crazy. It's just like, that's what I'm just saying. I'm like, leave them up. I'm like, you don't know who you're inspiring. How those people were for you, you will be that for someone else, And I feel like that's where I love with crows, it's that minor message. It's just like, you know what I mean? Especially with the Green Mother right there. It's like where your heart is, you know what I mean? As long as your aim is true, you will not miss, Nobody is perfect. Kids don't come with a handbook. Parenting doesn't come with a handbook. When we start on our journeys, they're not perfect, but do we, like with ourselves, I expected me and Shane to be sitting on a deck rocking in chairs when we were old. You know what I mean? Like side by side, talking about, Egyptian times and giants and, Atlantis and freaking all these other things outer space and aliens and all the other things we used to talk about. You know what I mean? It's just like you never, get into these lives, these journeys and be like, oh, that's going to be perfect. That nothing is perfect in life, That's why I feel like it's like embrace the moment while you're in it. 10 of boons. Celebrate the moment. Like I literally read, it resonated with me, and I'm going to post it later. If you follow my YouTube, you see the little shorts I post where it's just like, be in the moment. Don't let your thoughts race and be like, thinking about the next moment or waiting for that to happen. We always talk about that. Live in the moment. Don't wait until you're, 10 pounds lighter or that much prettier or you got your boobs done or, you know what I mean? Your mustache is coming or you got your six pack. It's like, enjoy it now. You know what I mean? Enjoy life now. Our last card is the Ace of Boons. So the Toad's gift to you is the Toadstool ring. This reminds me of a moon ring. I was actually looking for a toadstone ring on the sites. You're the most toadstool stone. I keep saying toadstool. Tone stone rings are not the most attractive rings, perhaps, but their power is legendary. A tone stone is all-purpose to change color in the presence of any poisons. Tone stones rings also protect against curses and other supernatural mischief. So one thing I love about Ella is that on TikTok, where she's a chi healer, she's like, let's transmute this energy. Let's take out this negative energy, curses, third eyes, whatever, bad things that people have put on us. Instead of sending it back, let's crush it up and turn it into something positive. And that's what I've done with my life. Bad things have come, crush it up. Let's put that energy into something better. My kids, the Sunny, my healing practices, my friends, my family, whatever this is. So prosperity, healing, luck. Principal applications of magic, earth elements. So, you know what I mean? Again, with the earth elements, grounding ourselves, getting ourselves into the moment. You definitely see that with the Weaver of Boons, with she's walking barefooted. The Green Mother, Gaia is all about, walking sure-footed is what they're saying, like a deer. You know what I mean? So it's like grounding ourselves, because especially the Maritimes, even right now, we went from, 37, like I said at the beginning of the video, which is like 102, all the way down to -2, which is like, what, 26, 22, 19, you know what I mean? So it's just like, enjoying it while we have it, you know what I mean? I'm learning to embrace winter, I just, snow removal and run back in my house and hide, but, with Sunny, it's like he's teaching us to enjoy winter a little bit, but, I just feel like it's just, if your intentions are pure, I feel like you're about to come into some blessing, some big blessing here. I don't know what it is, but I feel like something's coming here. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Tuesday, June the 6th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.